Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Who's he talking to?
I know. Oh, you're upside down. You're upside down. Well,
Who's he talking to? He said, do you hear me okay?
us.
Oh.
Who is he?
So anyway, I was telling you, so years ago, needle was about this long. And I was, the needle was about this long. So now they perfected it somewhat, and I just sit up in a chair and the little thing like this, and you just pinch it and it goes right in.
You check the lights off.
Okay.
You know what time it is?
No, I don't. It's not 6:30. My watch
It's
is a
quarter
good.
after 6. What's the
Yes.
meeting?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's a clock right on the wall there.
rotate. That's what, this is.
You guys are upside down.
I know, we're trying to fix it. Did you go in more? What is that?
Yes,
Down?
that's okay.
Oh, we would like to be right side up.
Oh, no.
Richard.
Who thought that'd be the problem?
It was right up in the corner there.
I did too. Of course, it's not the same then when Richard's not here.
The little one. though, right?
So if somebody else doesn't show up, we won't have a Bob and
Well, we got two
Alan.
of our people here, so we're doing good.
What's that?
Two of our
No, the board.
applicants. Oh, well, yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, because Donnie's not here, and we don't have a replacement for him.
No, but she called the other, Mark's supposed to be here and Bob's supposed to be.
I'm saying, if one of
Yeah.
those two don't show up, we're,
Yeah, we're to go.
Because I logged in on my phone, but good. There.
Oh,
Yeah,
yay.
now the blood's not going to my head. Yeah. My headache can go away.
Mary, I don't think I'd be able to read like the variances,
I can.
okay. How's your mother doing?
Real good.
She getting through it? This,
Yeah.
okay?
I scheduled her for her shot for next week.
All right. Where?
Laporte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, when were they supposed to do it here? I thought they were supposed to do it at the hospital here.
The health department,
Okay,
because Adam is through the fire department in North Judson and he's coming to the fire department
okay.
or to the health department. I should go to the people out. I have to stand up for the people in. Oh,
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
You don't reappoint them.
I didn't put in Ranger.
Wasn't a very good public relations person. Had an attitude, you know.
I mean, I heard that. But I've heard it several different times as many years as I've been at REMC.
Yeah, I had hearings with him, and God, he was nasty to Judge Calabrese, you know. Good. And then he said, last week he came to me a couple of times, you know, put me in the middle because I wasn't involved in anything that happened, you know. See what happened. One of the things that got pissed off about is that they just ran this Jack Kemp. Somebody just doing some construction.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, so. Yeah, Andre was talking about it, and Andre just did it. So, Andre came, laughed.
didn't realize it, but when she went on Thursday, Dr. BG's had her set up for Monday to get her foot x-rayed. She had three bones in her foot that had hairline cracks. But before she had an x-ray, she was out and pulled 3 garbage cans full of petunias and stuff around, shrubs around her house. Saturday night, she felt sickly. She threw up some. I called Doc BG's. He ended up saying, well, why don't you run her into the hospital? So we took her down to Winnemac. From there, as they were getting her checked in or out or whatever, they said, ma'am, you're not wearing your mask proper. So she proceeds to take it off and hands it to me. I nonchalantly, real smart, put it in my pocket. Hour and a half later, or an hour later, they go, oh, ma'am, you just tested positive for COVID. We don't keep you here. We got to send you to South Bend. So in the meantime, she only gets sick when Sister Charlene goes out of town. And Sister Charlene had took her to the doctor, took her to church, balanced her checkbook. So Sister Charlene ended up with
Took her to the
COVID with 4 days of
Did you go to the hairdresser too?
yeah. But she ended up with 4 days of symptoms, Sister Charlene. Clarabelle only had like a half a day of symptoms. She threw up a little bit. Yeah, she passed the virus on to Betty Bogle that had no symptoms.
Did she make liver and onions for Glengappa and that's how he got it?
Well, he tested that he had already had it, but Nancy come up with it. His wife come up with it. My cousin Keith took sandwiches to the field because we were finishing up harvesting, and he ended up on a respirator at Lafayette. And he is home and still hasn't really been out of the house. And that Sister Charlene had it. I had it. I worked through it, feeding cattle, changing a water pump on a tractor.
I thought I put it on mine.
My wife got it and had to have
6:30.
an injection of steroids,
That's mine, right?
antibiotics.
I'm glad he's here. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right down.
And that.
He can run the meeting. He's the man.
And that.
Mr. Troy, you
So-
ready?
We are, I guess, at 6:30, we'll call this meeting to order. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call
Bob Troike,
here.
Zach Binkley, absent. Mark Allen,
Here.
Denise Coltice. Here. Martin Bedrock.
Here.
Terry Stevenson. Mary Beaver, here. Okay.
So this is our first meeting, and I see on the agenda, it says appointments. But what, we should probably wait on the appointments till we get people appointed to the board.
That's fine.
I would just,
yeah, you have the full board.
rather than us make appointments and have new members come on the board and going, who made this decision?
Oh, for that, you need a motion to,
Let's have a motion if we
The
can.
table.
Yeah, I think so.
so I'll make a motion that we table the appointments for the planning commission,
Oh, yeah.
Board of Zoning Appeals
Oh,
Commission,
I
the
second that.
BZA.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll wait on appointments till our next meeting, hopefully. Approval of minutes from our last meeting.
Those I have covered. Where are they?
Maybe they're gonna come in.
How do you cover?
We've all had a copy of them sent to us prior, many months ago.
Maybe they don't have cameras. Oh, I thought this means they don't. Okay. All right.
Unless I missed it, Mary. I didn't see the definition or the code section dealing with the use variance. Unless I missed it or overlooked it.
It's gonna be-
Oh, back there. Okay. Okay. All right.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as printed?
I will make a motion to accept the minutes from the October 12th. meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes passed as read or printed. Are we ready for our first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public notice.
Okay, want me to read this?
I'll read. You want me to read it?
I'll try. I can see that.
Okay.
Public hearing to consider a use variance request by Dwayne Hoffrel. Is that pronounced correctly?
Hopefully.
And Steve Hofrey to open a used auto sales business and recycling center business in an agricultural zone area on property owned by Crossroad Investments LLC and described as follows. Northeast corner of the southeast, 3.18 acres, section 3, township 33, range 2, parcel number 75-06-032.000-003, located at 2125 North US Highway 35, Knox, Indiana 46534. And then the use variance is defined in our code. In order to receive a use variance from the zoning ordinance, the applicant must show that the variance will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, that the approval of the variance will not substantially interfere with the zoning ordinance, that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, that the need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved, that the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought, that the physical condition of the property prevents any other reasonable use of the property that would be in compliance with the zoning ordinance, that the variance will not affect the character of the neighborhood and is the least possible modification of the ordinance. Unnecessary hardship is not established by proof that a more profitable use of land could be made if the variance were granted, or that it will improve the efficiency of the applicant's business, or that the problem is one personal to the applicant rather than one especially affecting the land or structure in question, or that the applicant will be inconvenienced if the variance is not granted.
Are all notifications in order?
Well, that's where it gets a little tricky. Okay, so everyone has been notified at some point. I have received a notification back. For this particular hearing, notices were sent out 3 times. For the virtual hearing, I've received back 3 notices out of 5 stating that they got it about the virtual hearing. 2 of them have yet to come back, but mail's been a little bit slow, so. But everyone at some point in time has received a notice and knows something's going on with this property. So,
But then they haven't received notice of this hearing date. 2 of them.
2 of them.
Have any of them called the office after receiving any of the other notices?
The
In other
only
words-
person that's called is Mr. Thompson, and he's received all three.
So other than being this is virtual and it's new to us, you don't have anybody that's online.
I do. Well, the applicant I know is on there.
Mhm.
Go,
But you don't have any of the general public that we know of
that I don't know.
unless they,
Go. at the
but
top.
it is possible they could
No,
come
it's
up.
all the way. at the
They
top.
could be there.
Yeah, it was,
They've had the,
it was notified
Yep.
to WKBI that we were having a hearing tonight, and it was posted on the doors, and it was posted on the website, and according to Rachel, that's all that we needed to do to advertise that we were having a virtual meeting.
but their physical stuff gave them the information to come on Zoom.
The information to come on Zoom, they were all notified with the public hearing notice
Mhm.
and told, and on WKBI
Yes.
and that, to call the office to get
Get
instructions on
on Zoom.
Zoom.
So with that,
I don't know, who's that we see up there?
we're,
Those are two different hearings, but there's people on the phone
yeah,
too. There's a whole bunch of people.
already.
There's 7 people.
So
So this one right here is one of them.
So they all hearing us?
They should be.
So I guess you open the public here,
we'll open the public comment. Let
Dwayne, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, this is our first hearing. Dwayne,
Yes, I'm here.
we can hear you.
Okay, good. My name's Dwayne Hopfler, and I'm proposing a used car lot in a small recycling center at the address of 2125 US 35 in Knox.
Mhm.
I would like to sell cars out front. The hours are 9 to 5. And I would also like to do some small recycling in the back and some dumpsters with some, wires, cans, some aluminum, copper, no hazard materials or no EPA problems, some electronical stuff. People could drop off and put them in dumpsters and I will pay them for it. And I would like to improve the property, put up a fence, paint the building. I did have a contract on the building to buy it, and the owner's working through some liens that were on the property that he did not know about. So I'm gonna rent it for a while until he could get that straightened out. Really, that's about it. I would, keep it clean, no tires like the last guy. That was a mess, if you ask me, but I don't do things like that in my life. That's really about it. I'm, kind of new to this Zoom stuff, so I'm a little nervous. And this is kind of weird how life is nowadays with Zoom. But anyways, back to us. So that's really about what I want to do over at the property address.
Do we have anybody in the audience that's,
You want to open public
or we're open for a public hearing at this time
comment?
for comments? We're opening our public hearing for public comments. Anyone in the audience virtually in favor other than what we had just heard? Anyone in the audience on virtual over the phone or whatever opposed?
Mr. Harold Thompson called in to the office.
Uh-huh.
He is opposed of it. You should, in your packet, it's probably the last couple of pages. He wrote a letter and some concerns he has, stating why he's opposed to it. A lot of his concerns, however, I feel aren't really our concerns. They're more of buyer beware.
We know that he
The
has
buyer should be asking,
concerns because
Yeah.
of he was the neighbor
yes,
when the last variance was granted, and
yes.
that all fell apart for everybody. So. I know you had sent us a copy of these. Did everyone have a chance to analyze them at home?
If I could say a few things, is that okay?
Yeah,
You know, as far as the last guy, I noticed, because I was trying to buy the property when he had it, you know, what he was doing was totally wrong. I mean, he had tires on top of tires on top of tires. That's not the way to be in life, okay? Because that place looked like a junkyard. And I'm not picking anybody or pointing in anybody's direction, but that was very, very wrong. You know, you go over there and they're all drinking this and that, which was okay, but, you know, I don't drink. I've been clean for 35 years. And as far as tires going and making it look like a junkyard, that's not good for business. I do internet sales as it is right now, and I do quite well. A lot of places are doing internet sales because you know what?
Yeah.
A lot of places don't need to be on a main street anymore, but I want to have the opportunity to do both. So therefore, you know, that's really about it on that particular situation. You know, I know the guy next door has got a bad taste in his mouth, which I would have strangled somebody if I was living next door to that guy, but that's another story, you know, and I'll just leave it alone at that. But I'm not like that, and I would like a chance to show you that I'm not like that. So thank you.
Motion to close the public hearing.
we have a motion to close the public hearing portion.
So moved.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor, say aye. Session, public hearing is closed. Well, board members. You think? Hmm? After the last deal,
Yeah.
and this deal,
Okay, but he opens it up for recycling. What's he gonna do with the stuff once he recycles? Of what they're coming in?
Well, ask him.
we can ask you.
Sir,
Yes.
okay, when you said that you were going to offer recycling, when the recycling comes in, then how are you going to dispose of it?
Well, they come in, you would put dumpsters in the back. So anybody coming in, there's a lot of villages that do that actually, you know, and they offer it on their, you know, property, the village. People come in and they throw their, you know, wires or, you know, cans or stuff in big containers, and they're taken out of there like Waste Management would take your garbage can. Basically, that's about it. So everything would be kept in a dumpster that anybody would come and do. And like I said, a lot of villages are involved in that because, you know, it helps the community stay clean. People don't know where to do with the old lawnmowers or anything, and they don't know where to take it. So that's where I come in, or the village would come in and do something like that.
So in other words, you have people arranged already that's gonna
Empty your dumpster?
pick up your dumpsters or?
Yes, correct. I
By
mean, the big metal companies, the large ones would come in and bring, you know, 5, 6, 7 dumpsters and space them out. One would be for copper, maybe aluminum cans, maybe some lawnmowers or whatever have you. And then as soon as they're full, they come and take them out.
And you're basically gonna monitor what's going in them then?
Correct. Yeah, there would be no hazardous waste or nothing. I wouldn't accept that. You know, a lot of people, including that guy that was there prior, on how he got away with it, but you know, the EPA don't play around. They see tires laying around or batteries. That's not a good thing to get involved with.
So in your way of monitoring, are they all going to come past like a check-in station?
Yeah, they'll, you know,
Or
come to the
indicate
office
that
and
someone will be there?
yeah, come into the office and ask where to put it. Yeah, they would only be during business hours.
It'll be gated after hours?
Absolutely.
Otherwise, he would have everybody
Possibly
dumping
make
stuff.
that stipulation.
You know, as far as the guy, as far as the guy next door, there wouldn't be, late hours or, it'd be closed at 4 or 5 o'clock, no holidays, no Sundays, Saturday would be open for a few hours, but that's really about it. I'm 60 years old. I don't know. I like working, but, I don't want to kill myself working either anymore,
So there's no automotive repairs.
No, I don't believe in getting dirty. I believe in using my brain to make a living. I do know a lot about vehicles and how to repair them, but I'll let somebody else do that at another place, not on my place.
So then when you, like cars, are you going to the auction and going to be bringing in cars that you could possibly sell, like putting them on the lot to offer for
Yes.
sale or what?
Yes, correct. But a lot of things now are off the internet. You could sit behind your desk and buy as many cars as you want. It's kind of fascinating.
Do you have an estimate about how many you would?
Keep on the lot, probably 40, 50 cars, 60 cars. And there won't be nothing inoperable.
And you have a plan of putting a chain link fence all the way around the property?
Up front, in the back, and towards the back would be chain link. Up front, it'd probably be some kind of wood or some metal, so it looks decent. Because you really don't want anybody seeing back on, people throwing stuff in there in the dumpsters.
Want to pass that along?
That's what's here.
So then will you have two entrances then? Or you
Just
have-
one. Just one right in front. The less entrances, the better.
Mark, any questions or comments? The times that we're living in, anyone's got enough ambitions to continue with this after how many delays on months of hearing? Has got some,
My only
Okay.
request would be to put some stipulations
On the
so
fencing.
that we don't end up in a situation like we did last time.
So that these recycling bins can't be accessed when there's no one there.
that's,
That,
Right.
behind the
Right.
fence.
Correct.
So do you want a motion in the order of like granting the variance with the stipulation of the fencing going all the way around the recycling containers and with a locked gate after hours to prevent. Do you need any other stipulation on any kind of, for the building or anything? You could do that.
not really. We just hope that,
I know Mr. Thompson
Okay,
was concerned like with the
Denise,
septic.
Oh.
Apparently, he
repairing.
said there's
he
only,
said, no repairing, so there's no repairing, that's a condition.
They concerned with the septic and
that he said that only a mound system can be placed in there. I don't know if
So
there is a
there's no
septic on the
septic.
property.
I saw where he said it floods all the time.
I don't really know if that is our concern either.
The septic
I
or the
have to
flood.
stay there all the time.
Is it?
No, I think that's the health department.
That is the health department. But he'd have to make sure that it would be up to code.
we should probably inform them Mr. Top? Or is he, have you seen Mr. Thompson's letter to us?
No, no, sir.
Because he has a comment in there about this, the ground.
I can share it with them,
You can share it with him.
I think.
And Mary's gonna attempt to get it to you, but Mr. Thompson has at least, one comment about the septic system, the ground level and that. Of not being high enough that it needs to be an above ground system. We hate to have you go start through this and have the health department or whatever come out and say, oh, wait, here's another expense. So I guess that's.
No, I mean, that you could just build up a mound,
Yeah,
further back from the front or, from his place.
but I'm saying, it's just one thing we wanted to make sure that you were aware of so that you're not surprised by more regulations down the road.
No, I wouldn't be.
Oh, he's only on the phone. Is he able to see it or is he only on the phone?
No, he's on. Can you pick up Mary, what Mary?
Are you able to see what I put up?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I didn't know if you were just on the phone or on a computer.
No, there wouldn't be no types of loud machinery because you're not really doing nothing on the back.
Yeah,
All you're doing is watching people throw some stuff in the containers. And then the hours, like I said, 9 to 5, Saturday maybe 12 to 1, and no Sundays, no holidays, nothing like that. I might even close down for 2 weeks during Christmas.
It means 9 to 1 on Sundays, there it is.
No, on Sunday, 9 to 1 on Saturday.
He said, I thought he said 12 to 1.
Oh, yeah, I think you meant till noon.
Yeah. And then how many do you think you'll have working like in all?
Probably 3, 4, 5 people at the most.
And do you live at Knox?
No, I don't. I would, actually, it's me and my brother, and I'm gonna probably buy a house and let him retire down there. That's what our plan is right now.
does he know that? I know my brother would like to relocate me sometime every once in a while.
Well, he's up there in age, and this is something that he can get involved in, and, he's been in there around there for a while, and, kick back and relax and sell some cars, it's, that's really about it, it's, I can't afford to keep him up here by me, it's too expensive, but down there is a little bit less expensive for both of us, And I don't know if you know this, a lot of people in Illinois are getting out of Illinois for that reason. It's too much money to operate. A lot of people are going to Wisconsin and Indiana. You wouldn't believe the statistics on all that. A lot of people are leaving the state. I wouldn't mind being one of them.
Yep.
And then if anything else comes in, we'd have to reconsider another variance.
If anybody truly objects.
Did you?
Huh?
So like if this goes up, and anybody else wants to come in, then we would have to
Yep.
do
Yes.
the variance.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I'm gonna present a proposal, a motion to grant the variance for the car lot and the recycling center with a couple of stipulations that the recycling center will have to be fully enclosed with the fence and gated, locked gated overnight. And then that in the event that this business does not pan out and you decide to close up, if anything else were to come in, then they would have to come back before the board to have any other variances re-examined and possibly permitted or redone.
So the variance
No
is only
repairs.
good for the Hofrees.
That, yes, that the variance is only good for this particular instance.
No, that would be good. The
And
problem, another issue is, the guy next door, he's so close to the building where the building is now. I'd like to put a fence up that's gonna block a couple of his windows completely out. But, I'm trying to do that for his benefit too, so that might come back he might complain about that a little bit.
And then also, to stipulate too, that there's absolutely not to be any kind of automobile or any kind of repairs done.
Correct,
It's strictly a used car lot and a recycling center.
correct.
Anything else that you think you could add?
So,
What about
so
signage? Like, is there gonna be any reason that you wouldn't be able to put a sign up there?
To what?
A
There-
sign?
there are sign regulations. You
Yeah,
have to
but
see you about
could
the
get it,
proper,
yeah.
He could put his sign up for his business.
He'll
yeah,
have to, he needs to stipulate too that he needs to get a business license.
Okay, sir,
Yes,
and you will have to, come to the county and get a business license
sure.
with us.
Yeah, that would be good.
That will get one sign.
And then with that, you will get one sign, business sign.
Okay,
or whatever.
It's
Right.
included in the business permit.
Yeah,
Is the
It's
one
a permit
attached
for
to
the
the
sign.
building?
It could be freestanding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And with
and
that,
then there's, we're gonna be regulated by the state, so I'm gonna need some forms signed from the county,
You know, getting going.
because we're regulated.
okay, so,
we've got 3 more hearings.
Good idea.
Mary, is anything like it, to your knowledge, is there anything else then that would need to be stipulated?
What about his hours?
Last time you guys did stipulate his hours
Because the neighbor's concerned about the hours.
and you
He's
did
telling us that,
stipulate
but-
noise and there to be no junk or debris on the property.
Yeah, but we all know how far all that went.
Well, the definition of.
And then you did say that your hours would be Monday through Friday. Operating hours of Monday through Friday,
9 to 5.
Yeah, from 9 to 5.
Saturday from 9 to 1,
Yeah, basically, yes.
and closed on Sundays.
Closed on Sunday, closed on holidays.
And will he get a copy of all this then when he comes in for a permit?
He'll get a copy of this. If those are the stipulations, they'll be in a letter that he'll get.
Okay.
As long as
It goes through.
we get a second and everyone approves it.
Okay. Do we have to keep going up no junk or debris on
What?
it? No junk or debris on it.
I don't think we need to.
Like what? The debris and garbage. That's up to you.
But he's not gonna get up there. He's selling cars.
Yeah, he's not going. He'll know better. That's
Can't
hard to
judge
figure.
him on the last guy.
I know.
Yeah. Look like a junkyard you won't bring buyers.
I don't think that would be all that I.
I need a second.
Yes, do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second to grant you your variance so you can proceed with your business.
All in favor?
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's passed. You need to read now for his benefit or the,
She said he'd get a copy of all.
He'll get a copy from me.
That's fine.
yeah.
You'll need to
Already.
come into the office and you need to make an appointment to come into the office and apply for your business permit.
Okay.
And that's gonna be $100 for that.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Yep,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Thank you, bye.
But
is my first time. Oh. Somebody left. Yeah, he left.
Okay,
Okay.
you want me to read this? This is the second matter set for hearing. Public hearing to consider a conditional use variance request by Joseph A. Yazzie to place an accessory type structure on property without a dwelling in an R2 zoning that is less than 10 acres on property owned by Joseph A. and Donna M. Yazzie, and described as follows. Orchard Hill subdivision, subdivision lot 9, block 1, section 24, township 32, range 1.44 of an acre, parcel number 75-10-24-204-088.000-002 located at Deer Path Drive, adjoining to the south of rear of 5839 South Deer Path Drive, Knox, Indiana.
Are all the notifications in order, Mary?
Okay.
There it is.
Once again, we have multiple notifications that went out. At one point in time, everyone had been notified of this hearing. Two have not yet come back, but one of them, I think is the same person. Lake County Trust Company. There's a Trust 138 that got the notification for the virtual hearing, but the one in care of Jan Stakowski did not get the virtual, but I do have a letter from Jan. So she is aware that a hearing has been made. I did not get a notification back for the virtual hearing though, from Linda Sabatini at 5839 South Deer Path Drive. She did, however, receive one for the regular scheduled hearing that we had scheduled for December. But she did not get one for the virtual. Or if she did, I haven't gotten it back yet. All the virtual hearings for tonight, though, I personally mailed out notifications for.
Just so you know, to be upfront, Dr. Jan Chakowski is my client. And when she did get the notice, she called me and I explained to her what it was about, what she had to do. And that's all I did. And she did send either she or her son sent the letter in. She has property on State Road 10, and then she has property somewhere close by to where this
Her property comes out on State Road 10, but then it curves around back and it butts up to Mr. Yozi's property.
Did she say anything?
It's in her letter.
It's like one of the last pages,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
I think her son wrote it. I'm not sure, but I think her son wrote it.
Really pull that up too.
Okay, I'll read
like I
this
don't
on
know what I'm
conditional
doing.
uses, okay? The uses listed in chart number 4 of this article 6 are structural alterations thereto, which are classified as conditional uses, may be permitted by the Board of Zoning Appeals in accordance with the procedure specified herein. And the zoning administrator shall issue an improvement location permit for such use, if so directed by said board, indicating all conditions imposed as determined at time of approval. The use is listed in chart number 4 of this Article 6 are not to be construed as limitations, but descriptive of a type of use, and any use which the board determines would come within a category includable as such a use and which will comply with the requirements of paragraph B above may be permitted as a conditional use. Non-conforming commercial and industrial uses may be enlarged or expanded on the property now occupied or an adjacent property, but not exceeding 100 feet distant from the property lines of the property now occupied in accordance with the procedure specified in paragraph B of this section. Understood?
Loud and clear.
No, I understand.
So he's
No
applying
dwelling.
because there is no dwelling
Yeah, no dwelling.
on the property.
I understand.
He's wanting to place an accessory building with no dwelling.
I guess my question is that we've revisited this how many times, and we've shut that down how many times where they can't have a building without a dwelling, and you start doing that, and you're gonna run into a problem.
And I
People
think
you
that
told
in
no.
discussions with Mary, there's no intent to build it. I mean, sometimes you build a structure and then they're gonna build a house,
Right.
but
And there is,
there's no intent. It's just for storage.
I mean, I guess we can let him speak. Where's he at?
we shut that one down in Judson, remember?
Why do we have to open that up again?
Yeah,
Remember,
you gotta open public comment.
that one in Judson was shut down, he wanted that.
Yeah, move to open the public hearing
He
and
man, he's shut.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Motion to open the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Let's hear what he
We're
has
open
to
for
say.
public hearing.
His name's Joseph Yossi. He's,
Joseph Yossi, are
Can
you
you
with
hear
us?
Yes,
okay.
And could you explain to us what you're wanting and why?
building a storage building just for personal storage use.
You have no intent of putting a house on this property?
Maybe onto one side. That's why I want to put it in the corner.
And
Leave the other side open for a possible future house. I know you don't like the word possible. I kind of heard that.
Oh, I think you need to tell them what the policy of this board has been regarding those building of structures that without a dwelling.
Yes, at this point, from what we have run across in the past, if there isn't a residence plan or already there, we have not permitted any other structures. Does anybody else on the board got any more to enlighten on that than other than that's been our written policy, and that's we can flex the rules, some things on property lines and stuff like that, but our hands are pretty well tied on this matter.
Okay. The guy that has a property next to me has a structure without a house.
Uh,
Where's that? Mary?
I think he's referring to the properties just south of it, if I'm.
Yeah, 86 is on the map there. 5915, there you go.
And if that is so, then that property has not gotten a permit with us.
How old is the building or,
I don't know.
yeah, whether it was there before
That's
or,
reassessment, whether or not they caught it or not.
but if it's,
We can't do something just because we have the neighbor. I mean, we don't know how long it's been there or what they've done to.
Well, I think that if
He
in,
looks like he's got a
if in
little bit
fact,
more size.
if in fact, then it's been built without a permit, and so then we'll have to get it removed.
Oh, I'm not trying to start any trouble for the guy.
No, it's,
yeah,
but
we understand that, but,
Believe me, I'm no trouble for anybody else. This is for me.
yeah. But if,
He has like a garage or something. You don't have to go tearing it down. He keeps it neat.
well, first of all, if he didn't get a permit, and if she doesn't know about it, he didn't get a permit, then that's not permissible.
Well, I don't know. That's not for me to
Yeah.
say. I'm
I
just
mean,
going
that-
by.
we get that kind of stuff
but that's what,
all the
yeah.
time from reassessment.
The honest guy comes
They
in here
find-
and says,
yeah.
hey, I want to put a building and get the
There
permits
they
and
say
and
they
we have
didn't
to
know
turn
they
them
needed
down.
a
We have to
permit,
turn
you
them
know.
down and then we
Pam writes a lot of letters.
after the fact, yeah,
about that.
we have to have people come back in and pay for a permit and ask for forgiveness. And that's kind of why it's Board of Zoning Appeals to appeal to us. So,
Just going to trying to do the proper channels.
yep. So. Any other comments from our board?
No question. No question.
No.
So we need a motion to,
We have to close it.
Close public.
I don't know if there's anybody
In
in
favor and
the
opposed.
public to make comments, who has comments.
yeah, is there anybody else online that's acquainted with this that wants to make a comment in favor or against? If none,
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I have a motion to close the public hearing. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion is second. All in favor of closing the public hearing, say aye. And that, so,
And at this time, I just make a motion that we
follow the
deny
rules.
by following the rules and regulations set before us.
I mean, it's a bad situation because he does have a point, but I just wish he had a plan on saying he's gonna build something shortly after that, then at least we could at least exercise or entertain that he gets to build something.
I guess our motion is to deny you a permit to build anything. And if you build a homestead there, come in and apply for the permits, and then after that, we can probably let you build an outbuilding.
2 seconds.
I made the motion. Did you say?
I'll second it. Unfortunate.
Sorry, sir.
Hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, they set that guideline for a long time.
Yeah, right, Mary, he does have the right to appeal or not.
You can
Yes.
always appeal every
30 days.
decision to the court.
Yeah.
I just didn't know when he knew that or not.
The appeals go to the
Yeah.
commissioners or
No,
I'm not
you
gonna
would go to court. Yeah.
go to court? All right.
No, I'm not doing that.
Or,
It's not that, it's not earth shatter. It's not earth shattering.
yeah.
Just one other thing.
Yes, sir?
I did just say thank you to Mary for making the process pretty easy for me over the phone and me living a little distance away from there. She made it easy, and she was easy to deal with.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
There you
you.
go, Mary. Thank you.
No building or no building, it's the truth. She was very
Yeah.
easy to deal with and made the process easy for me, you know, because I had no clue what to do, and she guided me through the thing.
She does a great job. We know that. Thank you for saying that, though. We
Well, it's the truth. It's the truth. Like I said, it is what it is.
It's unfortunate, but. we turned
Sometimes the
down
ball
some-
bounces your way, and sometimes it don't.
we turned those down so many times. Thank you
Thank you, sir.
for trying to do
Okay.
the right thing.
Thank you very much.
Okay, number 3, public hearing to consider an area variance request by Anthony Chella
Bella? Yep.
to build an accessory structure with a restroom 3 feet from the rear property line, 3 feet from the west property line on the E property line, 5 feet from the existing dwelling, and being 20 feet high on property owned by Anthony Chella, described as follows. Chittick's Point off west side, 1.1, section 7, township 32, range 1.15 of an acre, parcel number 75-11-07-101-048.000-008, located at 4242 South County Road 210, Knox, Indiana. Now, area variance, let's see what we got here. Area variance, that's a long one. In order to receive an area variance from the zoning ordinance, the applicant must show that approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community, that the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, that the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will constitute practical difficulties because of unique conditions or circumstance on the property, that the physical condition of the property would prevent the erection of a dwelling of reasonable size, preclude any economically sound building project, have the adverse effect of precluding the full enjoyment of the permitted use, or a similar situation to the above, that the variance will not affect the character of the neighborhood and is the least possible modification of the ordinance. Practical difficulty is not established by proof that a more profitable use of the land could be made if the variance were granted, or that it will improve the efficiency of the applicant's business, or that the problem is one personal to the applicant rather than one especially affecting the land or structure in question, or that the applicant will be inconvenienced if the variance is not granted. And that's it for that.
Are all the notifications in order?
Here we go.
Once again, everyone has been notified at some point. The only one that I did not receive a virtual notification back from was James and Cheryl Matt. They did receive a regular notice stating that we were gonna have a meeting in December about it. And they're at 2246 Wellington Court, New Lenox, Illinois, 60451. But everyone else did receive the notice of a virtual meeting.
Any letters?
Yes. I have received a letter from a John Petzold and from, I believe, Lorraine Halford. And I've gotten a couple calls also from a Susie, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Wujila, maybe. Her mother owns one of the properties and she is opposed to it. The Petzolds, they are very concerned with draining issues on the property because they say it holds a lot of water back there anyways. And there's a drainage ditch that runs right next to that property. The Rain Halfoid, you all have a letter from her also in here.
Is that a private ditch or it's a county ditch?
It's a county ditch, and if you do approve this one, he will also have to seek a variance from the drainage board. Because needless to say, he can't be 75 feet from that ditch anyways, which at the lake is common. So it doesn't cost anything to get a variance with the drainage board, but he would have to get their permission also to build that close to the ditch. But he's gonna be close. He's only gonna be like 3 feet from the one property line, and he's wanting to be on the property line on the one side. And then I believe, if I remember right, I think it's 10 feet from the rear property line.
4 or 5 feet, I believe.
4 or 5 feet.
Yeah.
And then,
Is that drawing accurate that the people next door to you house is on your property?
those lines could be skewed.
They're skewed. The drainage. I'm sorry.
Can you,
One of the issues though out there is, I believe it was Lorraine Halfoid. She believes that he's encroaching already on her property, which would be a civil matter that would need to go to court. But she sent in a copy of his survey that he sent us with where she believes he's encroaching on her property. And that's going to be the last few pages that you got.
on this
And I'll
diagram,
put that up so he can see that too.
on this diagram, all these houses seem to be.
Yeah, that's,
Within a
That's-
foot.
Yeah.
Crazy. You know,
I think their stencil for the house is all the same, Marty, and it just
no, that-
appears that away.
Okay, oh,
Have it in front of them.
well, this one, I don't know if it looks bigger or not, but
What do you do from the septic? Open to the public for him to comment.
Yes, we'll need to open for the,
Let him talk.
let him talk first.
Yeah, can you open it?
Yeah.
Yeah, open it up to public. You there, Anthony?
Yes, just a
Can you explain to us what,
Yeah.
why you're wanting this, and then we'll open it up to the public if there's anyone in the audience?
Sure. I bought this house in 2015, been coming out there for a long time. When I bought the house, one of the stipulations when I bought it was retaining a lot of water. There's a lot of trees that was just falling over. So the county came in and removed everything. There hasn't been one drainage problem since. Actually, it's been pretty much dry the entire time. So our whole thing is right now is, I know we're on an irregular plot of land. We are simply wanting to put a garage with a loft on top for garage for storage pretty much, and living space above just for extra living space. That's pretty much simple. I'll be honest, the only thing I could see that's wrong in the situation would be my neighbors, Peltzoid, Kathy and John, who are amazing people. That's the side I did say, you know, if we can go on the property line, but that's just me shooting for the stars, you know, just trying to get the size of the garage that we really wanted. If that didn't happen, I could truly understand. For their rear section, at my survey, they marked out everything and it matched up with the old survey, all the fences and stuff. I never impeded it on anyone's. I know it's all woods back there anyways, but I never impeded on anything. Nor that I would. You know, I am a guy that lives by the rules of the book, and I'm just trying to help our family just kind of extend. You know, storage is kind of small on our, you know, we have a dwelling and 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and you know, we're just looking for a little bit more storage and, you know, extra room for just the extra friends that come over, extra family, and that's about it.
The Petzold were also concerned with the height that he's wanting to build. You're only allowed to build up to 18 feet unless you have a side yard of 15 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, the reason for the height was just so we can actually have a full second story with 8-foot ceilings. You know, the garage would be a 10-foot ceiling. The second level would be an 8-foot, and then actually it'd go up to the peak.
This diagram we have shows the house touching the property lines. How do you get back to the garage?
It's mostly on the west side. The west side is a very open access. It's pretty much, it measures and vary, you know, to the drainage ditch is right there, but drainage ditch, I think the closest it gets to my house is around maybe 10 to 12 feet. So from the garage, it's a huge section that it's about 20 feet away. So the west side is the proper route. You can get back there.
Did you open the public hearing?
We have a motion to open the public hearing.
You already
I
opened.
already,
We already opened.
yes.
Is there anyone online or
I
any?
don't know who Paul is.
Yeah, hello. This is the Helford group, the Helford family,
Yeah.
and my name is Paul. I have Lorraine Helford here, who's the co-owner of the property. I have her son Roy here, her daughter Susan, and again myself. I'm Paul, and I'm Lorraine's son-in-law.
So they own the property behind you.
Yes, Lorraine is the co-owner of the property directly behind Anthony.
Okay.
Just.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, so we sent in our letter with the list of our concerns, and I'll just briefly go through this letter. So as I mentioned, Lorraine's the co-owner directly north of Anthony. Our parcel number is 75-11-07-101-015.000-008. Lorraine's comments are on the attached sketch and survey information submitted by Anthony. And we obtained that from the Stark County Zoning Board of Appeals. The first point, we have historically experienced flooding at that corner of the property. Reducing the setback from the required minimum 10 foot to the requested 3 feet will further complicate the flooding on our property. Mr. Sella is also asking for a reduction of the west side yard setback and to build on the east property line. These reductions will also add to the flooding of our property. Ultimately, the flooding mentioned in the first 2 items will reduce the value of our property. As a separate matter, as has been pointed out, our survey and the deeds we have for our property do not coincide with Mr. Sella's survey. Mr. Sella's survey is encroaching on our property by 3 feet. We believe Mr. Sella's west boundary is 130 feet deep, not 133, as indicated in his survey. If you refer to the legal description of the certificate of survey that was submitted as part of Mr. Sella's survey, it states 130 feet to the northwest corner of said lot. We've attached the certificate and sketch for your reference. We realize that the board cannot address this discrepancy, but we bring it up as a point of reference since it further complicates the flooding issue that's being experienced. Next item, the addition of the garage and loft to the property is at the threshold or exceeds the maximum lot coverage. The Think GIS database for Stark County indicates the calculated acreage at 0.12 acres. Using the calculated acreage of 0.12, the addition of the garage and loft results in a 48% lot coverage versus the allowable 40%. And we've sent along a copy of the information that we were referring to from the Think GIS database. Next item, the planned garage and loft will be 20 feet tall per the Stark County zoning requirements. The maximum height is 18 feet or up to 25 if the side yards are each a minimum of 15 feet. The submitted side yards are less than the required 15-foot minimum required for the taller structure. In summary, given the flooding of our property, the resultant loss of property value, and the totality of the multiple variance requests, we strongly ask the Zoning Board of Appeals to deny this requested variance. Thank you.
I think we have to make specific findings.
Do we have anybody else on the public comment?
Do we have anyone in the virtual in favor of Mr. Selleck's proposal? Do we have anyone in the audience?
Anyone else opposed besides the Halifax?
Anyone else in the audience opposed besides the Hatfords?
Yes.
Who was that spoke up?
Who just spoke up?
Can you have them restate their names again? Because there was like a bunch of them there.
Yeah.
They're all at one house.
Well, that's right.
Yeah. You heard our secretary ask you to restate your
Sure.
name so she can get it for the record?
Yeah, sure. Mary, hi, this is Paul and my wife Sue. We've spoken to you a couple times on the phone. Our last name is Wojdyla. And then we have my mother-in-law, my wife's mother, Lorraine Helford here. She's the co-owner of the property. And then we have Roy Helford here as well, and Roy is Lorraine's son. And we have Carol on a separate line listening in, and she's muted right now.
Carol.
What is Carol's last name?
Newcomb.
Okay.
She's on the call. It's NEWCOMB.
I did speak to her earlier today too.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
We've had a lot going on.
Yeah, trying to
I
catch
had
up,
a lot of phone calls.
trying to catch up.
Well, if what he expressed is correct, you know, I didn't know what the land coverage turns out to be.
According to me, with what I have, they're at 0.15 acres, which currently they would be at 27% coverage. With the garage, it would be at 37% coverage. But what they're saying is that they're encroaching, so they actually don't own 0.15, they own 0.12, which would make those numbers different. But all of that is a legal problem.
What does the assessment sheet say?
That's what I have.
So you're going by the
I
county's
go
assessment?
what
Yeah.
the county.
What the
Okay,
county's
so we have
assessed
to,
I mean, I even like when I measure it on here. Go away. How do I make that go away? Okay, so
Yeah, Mary, if I could interject here, we're looking at the county tax information from your website, and according to this website, the land computations shows the calculated area at 0.12.
Or you just call it in, 0.15.
Yeah.
I see it out there.
and even when you click on this here. Escape. And clear. When you click on the property and bring it up,
It says
they don't
0.15.
have calculated acreage in
Oh.
here.
And I feel bad for that guy. Look at the taxes.
but additionally, there's
There's a postage stamp.
another variance,
Jeez.
there'd be another variance required for the height of the building.
He needs a variance on
Everything.
all sides, the height, everything.
Plus the
Yeah.
drainage board.
Plus, then if he's
Yeah.
approved here, then he'd have to go and get a drainage. Variance.
Yes. I would assume these numbers, which he's paying property tax on, were
This is
established,
what we go by.
is what we go by, and this is what it's been established.
Yeah.
When
Until
they,
this
when they,
is-
when they drew the lines at the lake.
And-
The
and
aerial
yeah.
maps are showing a variation.
Yeah.
Which may be more
I mean, the
accurate,
lines
may
could
not be more
skewed a
accurate,
little,
but yes.
But honestly, whether or not, I mean, the percent coverage there, I mean, he's gonna be really close. The percent coverage wouldn't be so much what I'm worried about.
Yes.
The difference in the
Is-
percent coverage is
Yeah,
what they're claiming is part of their
The
property.
Yeah.
height is a factor.
the more bigger issue at hand, though, is gonna be how close he is to his house.
Yes.
Because if he's gonna build that close to his house, he's gonna have to put in, fireproof wall.
Yeah, it's gonna be,
He's gonna, you know, he's on the property line.
Mhm.
He's not, you know, close to it. He's gonna be on it.
Yeah.
So if he's not dead on that property, it could cause problems down the line
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
for when he doesn't own it
Oh, yeah.
anymore. You know,
My
and,
fence
or
is
the
on mine.
neighbor, you know, if the neighbors don't
Their
own
fence
it,
is on my line.
so.
We overlook that part.
So that's the bigger issue to
You
me.
Yes.
didn't know that.
Well,
You forgot about that.
But,
My mom.
as long as I've been on the board, I don't ever recall letting anybody build on the line.
That's-
We've had to leave enough room
That's scary.
for fire departments, for emergency squads, whatever might arise, as best on our knowledge.
We
But,
close it on this one.
and that, so,
Whatever it is.
So we need to close our
Close
public
public.
comment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I'm
Been
sorry.
moved and seconded.
I'm talking like you need to do that.
All in favor?
All in
Aye.
favor, say aye. Board discussion,
I just don't see it gonna be a workable situation.
too many.
Yeah, too many.
Yeah. So it was one,
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be a lot
Too
of,
complicated, and I
it's
wouldn't
gonna
wanna
be a
be,
lot of stuff he's
I
gonna go
wouldn't wanna
through
be either
regardless.
third parties.
So then we have to address these questions then, that the approval will be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community.
It would be.
Okay, by the property being on, by the structure being on the property line and concern for safety vehicles, emergency vehicles, and we have no way of knowing whether this is going to increase the,
property value or not, that's,
yeah, but and I'm talking about flooding too. I mean, we
Yes.
don't have we don't have any idea
yeah, we're not a drainage.
that the use of value adjacent. Now, apparently, the people who are adjacent believe that's going to affect their property value, and that's the only information that we have.
Or not, yeah.
Can't guess on that.
And the strict application of the terms of the ordinance will constitute a practical difficulties because of unique conditions or circumstances on the property. Well, we don't believe it's causing any practical difficulties. I mean, the requests are impractical considering the size and location of the property.
The request is impractical.
Yeah. The strict application, we don't go through these too often, but the strict application of the terms would not constitute practical difficulties.
But it would. So if it does, then we can't, I mean, it wouldn't be feasible to grant it. If
Right.
it would cause the difficulties.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you want a motion?
Yeah, we need it.
Do we have more to answer?
No. Well, that the strict, the physical condition of the property would prevent the practice, erection of dwelling or of reasonable size. And that's part of the problem
Yeah,
here.
that's not a reasonable size.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was shooting for the stars on this. You know, I was just trying to do things what me and my wife would be, you know, what we'd like. But, you know, if I gotta resubmit something for a very smaller garage, then I will go through that process. And my apologies on that part.
Okay.
Still gonna
I would
need a
say-
variance regardless, doesn't it?
Probably, because,
Look
I
at
mean,
that
it's so
road a little
tight
bit.
back there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I get the boundaries checked before I even
So-
submit for a second request for a smaller. building.
We have a motion to,
I will make that motion that unfortunately we deny the request of the variance.
I'll second that motion.
a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Sorry, Anthony.
We're sorry, check with Mary
See what we can come up with.
to see what sizes will fit in there, if any, that we can help you with later on.
All right. And just like Joe said, thank you to Mary. She guided me through this whole process and this time. Very helpful. Very helpful. So thank you so much, Mary.
Put Mary in for a raise. Way to
Thank
go.
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make up the specific findings. So findings of fact, I'm not sure he'll do anything, but
I'm getting a big head tonight.
Man, you're a Supergirl. I'm hiring you.
This aerial mapping that
All right,
they're
let's-
using, like I said, it's only been used, that aerial mapping's only been maybe 15 years at the most.
Okay. I mean, it can be skewed and especially at the lakes,
Well, you
it
gotta
can be
understand,
off a
look what
little,
you're,
but
look
yeah.
what you're working with.
Yeah,
That's not like your property
Yeah.
over at your house.
Yeah.
That's just a little
yeah.
little
And
square
even our
area
property
makes it
is
up.
plus or minus.
Yeah, that
on all
wouldn't
the
make
surveyor
much of a
lines.
difference.
all right,
You're
let's-
plus or minus what that property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go overtime.
let's get through this because I, like you, you haven't been home either, right? Neither have I, so
I am big.
let's go.
You did?
Oh, yeah, I cooked tonight.
All right.
I told you we had a lot.
We knew, well, we knew.
Let's
I-
do that.
I think
We've
we're
been off
doing
for a
good,
while.
Up for number
Alright.
4, we're ready. Go ahead.
Public hearing to consider an area variance request by Peter Awald and Matt Awald to add an accessory garage structure onto the home and be only 5 feet from the east property line in an R2 zoned area on property owned by Peter and Karen and Awald Revocable Trust and described as follows. Slipaway Bay Lot 6, Block 4, Section 11, Township 34, Range 1.47 acres, parcel number 75-03-11-402-061.000-009, located at 10935 East Anchor Drive, Walkerton, Stark County, Walkerton. And we've just gone through what the area variance is defined.
What
so-
are they putting in the garage?
On the east side of the house. So, like right over here.
Oh. And nothing from that neighbor?
This neighbor called me and he's okay with it.
What about that Coons Lake Fire Department?
Is there
But
enough
you
room,
did-
is there
that the
enough room for?
That the mail was returned to sender.
Well, because they don't really have, I mean, you could have sent it to the fire station. That would be.
Mary, are all notifications in order?
But are you the?
I did contact.
Are you the recipient of the fire department mail as the trustee?
They have it.
That's not, that's actually not anything that I'm involved with. They
Okay.
own that separate.
Oh, okay.
That's their own entity that owns that, so. They were given that property by the gun club many years ago, and they were gonna build a training area, and they have some training stuff that they do out there, so. But regardless, I did speak to the chief, and, he just acted like it wasn't a big deal, so I just wanted to know what the skinny was.
So everything's.
Is Matt live? Are you there, Matt?
So
Yeah, I'm here.
I did not receive one back for virtual hearing from Simpson, Rose Simpson,
She's over here,
and
right there's where Rose.
that's gonna be 10990 East
Yep.
Anchor Drive, Walkerton,
in the corner.
Indiana.
I know her.
And then I get, the one back from the fire department,
Yeah, I know. I already talked to her.
which Mark's informed them of what was going on.
Yeah, well, that won't be a problem. Now, Matt, wasn't there an LP tank there at one time?
Yeah, there was.
Okay, so you removed that and run natural, didn't you?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I was gonna say on that side. That's Louise's old house?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is Pete with you?
Yeah, Pete's here.
Oh, okay.
You want to sing?
Sure, bring him on. Hey, Pete, how you doing?
There you go.
Hi,
How you
Pete.
doing?
All right, how are you?
Good.
I guess we need to put it up for public.
Yep. I have a motion to open public
I'll
hearing.
make that motion.
Have a second?
Second.
So go ahead and
Favor
tell.
say aye.
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 So you're just gonna put a structure kind of where the LP tank is, correct?
Yes, yes.
And they'll take your phone.
Yeah, they know that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's the size of that? And that's a pole barn you're building?
It's gonna be,
Build a whole structure, but attached to the house.
So is it gonna be a pole, just a pole structure, or is it gonna be a pole barn?
No. It's gonna be concrete floor and then just house built, 2x4s.
Okay, okay,
Stick built.
It'll look like the house.
okay,
Never mind.
that's all I'm thinking. So that's the point. How close is it to the neighbors? Only 5 feet, so it'll just be 5 feet off the property line.
Well, when they came in, they changed their mind a couple of times on where and how they wanted to position it. So that's gonna be the issue, is how close they're gonna be, how close you're gonna let them be to the neighbor. Because they were wanting to go out further on the east side, but then they were gonna be too close to the property line, so then they just were gonna try and put it up further closer to the road, but then they'd be too close to the road. So it's kind of one of those situations where there is enough room to do something there, but they wanted it larger than what they could put there, so. That's why we're here.
Yeah, so what did they actually decided? What did you actually decide for size?
It'll be 20 wide to the east and then 24 deep.
Okay, so it's just.
And it'll sit just behind the bedroom window. So you'll still be able to look out the bedroom window on the east side.
How close is that gonna end up being to the property line?
That's gonna make them about 5 feet.
We're at 5 feet?
It'll be 5 feet, yes.
Is that gonna
It's
be
25
feet?
25 feet right
from
now from the house to the property line is what I see.
Is it gonna be 5 feet from the building or 5 feet from the eave?
From the eave.
Oh, well, that's a little.
How come these lots are square?
I don't know, the guy's Red Williams, that's who started that subdivision.
Oh, it's in a subdivision, it's not on the lake.
Yeah, it's in a subdivision. Slipaway Bay is just down from the lake.
We've got other issues with Slipaway Bay right now.
No, I was gonna say,
We've got
We'll come to them.
issues with the addressing out there. Oh.
I don't,
And Google.
I really don't foresee a problem there.
Do we have anyone online virtual other than Pete and what his son in favor of this?
I see they're sitting at the house.
Anyone online opposed?
Did you get any letters in the post?
And like I said, the neighbor that is directly to the east, he called and asked about it and he said he was okay with it.
So that's this one.
Yeah.
That
'cause
would be
he's
the only one I'd be
far
concerned
down,
about, yeah.
He's got extra, I mean, like,
Don Heichel.
he's got a good size west side yard.
It's still
Yeah,
Yes. fire protection, stuff like that,
Do we need to close the public?
access.
Close the public? Can I
Close
make a
the-
motion to close the public?
Have a second,
Second.
All in favor?
all in favor, say aye.
Aye. And get it done.
Close.
I don't see any problem with it, I really don't, especially if the neighbor's good with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the few property, clean, the fence would be nice right there.
They were wanting to put it in the back, but there's an issue because of her septic being back
Oh.
there and
Yeah.
stuff, so.
It's gonna probably just be offset though, because he said he's gonna leave with access to the, like, the window. It's not gonna block the window.
I mean, the little thing,
Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion. to accept it.
Any stipulations?
Just that size, nothing bigger, nothing closer. Keep them at that 5-foot variant. You all right with that?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. Pete, you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Want to make sure.
Have a motion, a second.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. It's all yours.
Come see Mary.
Yeah.
No, call.
You
Come see
gotta
Mary.
call first.
Make an
Yeah. You
appointment,
sure you want to build in this cold?
wear a mask.
Right.
I said, are you sure you don't want to build in the cold?
They building it themselves or they get a contractor?
Yeah, well.
Well, their son's a
Yeah, Matt's a contractor. That does that.
All right,
All right, you're all good.
We're done.
All right.
you'll just need to come see me for a permit.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thanks, Matt.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good evening.
Okay, you too.
All right,
Okay, bye.
bye. Mary, any other business?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. All right, so we have David Paulson. He asked me way back when in October, I think it was, to talk to you guys. He's had some issues with getting a house put on his lot out there at Monterey Resorts. He wants to know if he needs to reapply with us or if you guys are willing to extend your decision to him again. Because at first he wanted to just build a house, a pole barn type house, and then I think his dad died or something. He's had some issues and then COVID hit now. And he wanted to put in a trailer, and the one trailer he found, the deal fell through on it because we went into lockdown. And so I guess he's found another one now that he's wanting to put in. I believe it's gonna be this one. Yep. So he's wanting to know if he needs to reapply or if you want to furtherly extend.
What was the variance for? Besides the structure? I mean,
He wanted to put in a trailer.
okay. And originally the variance wasn't that.
No,
Was approved for a
originally,
house trailer, yes.
originally he came in wanting to build a pole barn house on that property, which we were fine with. We gave him a permit for that. Then he came in, he wasn't able to financially do that. So he decided to go with a trailer instead, which then we told him he had to get a variance for that. So he came before us, got a variance in 2019.
So when did
got
he first
approved.
apply?
When did he apply?
First apply, yeah.
For the variance or for the
first whole building house.
first pole
I can
building
vaguely remember it, but yeah.
was
go ahead.
2018.
So over 2 years, he hasn't done anything.
He wasn't able to financially do that, so he came in, talked with me and Pam. Me and Pam told him he needed to apply to the BZA so he could put a trailer. He came before us. It got approved. You guys said he could place a trailer and then eventually to build his house,
Yeah, like I said.
as long as he
Yeah,
removed
no.
the trailer. Then that was like end of 2019. And then his deal with the trailer fell through. We went to lockdown.
So all of 2020, it was like.
Yeah.
I recommend that we have him come
For another permit.
on the.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I can remember it, but in particulars, yeah, that he
Well,
was
the problem
working
is-
off of a
Yeah, you're working.
pretty
over
tight
2
budget
years.
on when he
Yeah.
was planning this pole building.
Yeah.
Slash house,
Yeah, and then we just took it down to the trailer.
and then he said, hey, let me move a trailer there, so I got something to live in while I'm doing it.
Does he need to just get another permit or does he need to come before us for another variance?
Depends on what he's asking for to go in this
Is
time.
he asking for?
He's
the trailer?
wanting to put in another trailer.
Yeah.
So
Okay, and we granted that.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
Another permit,
Just another permit?
I think so.
Not, he doesn't come see us?
Not unless it.
No, so he's
something
not
falls
changing
out of the-
anything. You already gave him an
Can
okay.
we have to give them timeline?
Well, usually the permit, there's a timeline, isn't
And
there, 6 months?
At least he's coming back and asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give permits every day and even variances. And then they never follow through.
So just a new permit,
I think so.
because that'll probably be about what our fee is.
And then it has an expiration date on it.
A year.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
a
6
year to
months,
do it.
a year.
You have 6 months once you apply with us, if it's approved, to get going on it.
Okay.
And then if you don't make progress within 6 months, then you need to technically come reapply with us. So, yeah, okay. I also wanted to let you guys know that, if you remember, Mr. Dudlow applied for a permit for a storage container out at Bass Lake to be put in. He did, put in a storage container. It does look very nice. It matches the pole barn perfectly. He sent,
Everybody was important,
yeah, he sent in pictures and it looks great.
Like-
I did have a picture of
I
it.
sent something to Mary. There's a guy that's selling these
He has been told.
and, you know, he doesn't tell
container?
anybody anything, I'm sure. And then they get a letter in the mail, you know.
He doesn't do what?
He doesn't probably tell them that they gotta do
Oh,
anything to them.
okay.
It says, there you go, buy it, they buy it.
Bailey at Total Room 39
Yeah.
sells them.
And he
And I'm
has,
sure there's other people selling them too.
I sent
he's
her,
been told. I
Yeah.
talked to Pam about it.
Yeah.
And he was told.
Informed that, hey,
Told?
you
I
better.
would send them
Yeah.
an expressive letter.
Yeah,
Tell
but,
him, if he's gonna sell them, then he.
yeah,
can
because I was
resell 'em.
over in
Shouldn't be
Illinois,
operating in
St.
business.
St. Anne's, Illinois for a farm consignment auction. And they loaded this storage unit on it and the guy had his trailer. He said, yeah, I bought it here cheaper than I could buy it there. And he says he resells them.
Yeah.
And he likes the shorter ones because you don't have to walk so far back when you're stacking stuff in the back. He likes the ones that are shorter. And they're easier to haul, but,
I mean, it's just
Any more
unfortunate
on,
because it's gonna create.
Mr. Wireman's storage unit.
Mr. Wireman has applied with me.
We got the end of the report.
He has since then had a really bad case of COVID.
Mhm.
He was scheduled for December. It got canceled, of course, because the commissioners told us we had to cancel. I gave everyone who applied in December or was set up for a meeting in December the option of having a virtual meeting in January. They elected not to. They want to wait until February to see if February possibly they're able to come in person. February, we already have 2 hearings set for February. We already have 2 hearings set for March. I'm not scheduling any more than 2 hearings at a time for a month, so we don't end up in this situation again where we're backed up so bad. So,
Yeah, but like Zach said, he went by there and there's already 2 of them back.
Yeah, when he was here to get his
Yeah.
permits for his deck that was already put up and he
Yeah.
says, oh, if I do some of them, do I need a permit? And
Yeah.
we said, yes. And I
They're
said,
already there.
please come see us first.
Yeah.
And then Zach says they're there. And then I happened to think out of it out of the kind mind, and I called Mary and said, hey, the Shore Club asked for a variance, or the restaurant asked for a variance back when Bruce Williams was administrator, that, because that was the Shore Club forever, and then it got taken out of restaurant status and got put into a home status. So when they reapplied, you take it from a home back to a restaurant, Bruce Williams caught, oh, if you've got so many tables or seats, you need so many parking spaces for the parking lot, and they were short. So we give them a variance so they could be, still be able to park cars and not follow the state guidelines or our
Now,
guidelines.
back
on
then
that.
though, which
But
I wasn't here
Yeah.
back then.
Neither was
Were
I.
they able to park on the other
On-
side of 10 or on the other side of
By
210?
the beach or by the lake.
they
Yeah.
were able to park right where the patio went in. There was parking
Well,
areas
yeah.
there, the whole
But were
width.
they able to
Yeah.
park on the lake side?
Yes,
There, yeah, parallel park with the road.
yes.
Just parallel park?
Yeah,
Okay, because now the parking is not parallel.
I think.
It's not.
I could be, that's just my memory.
No, I think it was perpendicular, just like it
Maybe it
is.
was, yeah, it
Yeah.
probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was.
So,
But yeah, but they were still supposedly short then. And then they put storage units in back and take up more parking spaces. And then the one complaint I got was from a past member was
there,
Don White saying, hey, he's got them too close to our property or on our property lines. So,
On his,
yeah,
yeah, back there with the houses back there.
yeah.
All right.
So there's that will be an
your report
interesting
for the
two.
year?
one,
Do
two.
what? You want your report for the year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Stark County Board of Zoning Appeals Annual Report for 2020. Members of the Board of Zoning Appeals were as follows. Robert Troike served as chairperson in 2020. Zachary Binkley served as vice chairperson in 2020. Mark Allen served as executive secretary in 2020. Don Binkley served as a member in 2020. Denise Coltice served as a member in 2020. Martin Bedrock served as legal counsel for 2020. Terry Stevenson was the Planning Commission Administrator for 2020. Mary Beaver was the Recording Secretary for 2020. The Stark County Board of Zoning Appeals held 6 regular meetings with 6 public hearings. Of the public hearings, 1 was denied, 5 were approved, with 4 approved with stipulations. 1 was continued. In March, there was no meeting. April, May, November, and December were canceled due to COVID-19, and the September meeting was canceled due to weather. That should have actually been August. The August meeting was canceled due to
Yeah.
weather.
I remember that. That was a nasty storm.
I'll make that correction. The Stark County Board of Zoning Appeals collected a total of $2,400 for the 2020 year. The amount collected is greater than the number of meetings due to meetings being canceled due to COVID-19 and pushed out to later dates. There was a total of $800 collected more than in 2019. Mary Beaver, recording secretary.
Need a motion to accept the annual report?
Yep.
I make a motion that we accept the annual report for 2020
With the correction.
with
the
one
correction,
correction, yes.
yeah. I'll
August.
accept it. I'll second that.
motion and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So whose terms are up?
I am. I already
Because I
submitted.
seen in the paper where the
I already
commissioners,
submitted.
Yeah.
I submitted to the council and I submitted for the planning commission. Because I don't think Don is gonna be
No,
back
he
on,
can't.
so that gives me maybe a spot to fill.
Can only be on the planning commission if he was to take over Howard's position, because Howard's the council member. So they gotta figure out which
but
one
I
of them.
guess when I look at the pretty pink bright sheet, so my term is up.
Oh, you're up, dude. I didn't know you were up. So you're up,
Mark's up.
I'm up.
You can take those with you if you want,
Um,
because I gotta redo those anyways.
The pink sheets.
Yeah.
I'm good. I knew I was up.
Okay. Can I go? My wife's been waiting outside for me for an hour.
We need
since
to
I came.
adjourn.
We
I
need to make a motion.
that we adjourn the meeting.
I second it. You're dismissed.
Okay,
Thank you.
can't drive.
Tell your wife I said hello.
Okay.
I hope she had a good
What do you
experience
mean
at
you
the,
can't
at the
drive?
big beacon.
I had macular
Went
and
into
I
the,
got
I
shots in
saw,
my
I
eye.
saw him and
I
saw
got a
her.
shot today.
Oh, so
She
Nancy
had
got the
surgery.
shot today.
Yeah,
It's
it's
still
still blurry.
It's still blurry enough that.
Yeah. So she has to drive me around. So I never thought it would last this long. I
So I
thought it
think
was.
I would have to-
Well,
Good night, Marty.
Bye, Marty.
Marty, I'm really